Okay, so we're here just checking out Sharky. You've got a pretty good start on him so far. Just a couple little issues here and there that are kind of mucking up the geometry a little bit. Firstly, we'll just start at the nose here. What we have here is kind of a curving of the nose if we look at the top, which is pretty accurate and realistic to an actual shark, but we're actually gonna stick to the book a little bit here, and we're gonna kind of make sort of a flat shaped nose. Right at the tip of the nose here is gonna look like a rectangle composed of 8 small squares, okay? And what's also happening here is, we've got these 4 thin faces up here, but there are actually 8 faces in this area, and what's happened is that 4 of them, if you zoom in really close here, you might be able to see a little better, are actually just squished in really super thin. So this, if I go into face mode here, you might be able to see this a little better. We've got some little squished faces that are actually kind of sitting right underneath these faces on the top here. So you might be able to see those 2 thin little edges. If you can't on the video, just take a look in your Sharky file and just zoom in on this area and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and fix that first. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do edge mode, alright? And I'm just going to grab the top edge of those 2 little edges that are right next to each other like that. And I'm going to go around and grab it on all 4 of these, okay, in the nose area. And then once I've got all 4 of those top edges there, I'm going to just use my move tool and just move them down, because what was happening was they were actually coming up underneath like this, and they were kind of behind the nose. So we're just going to pull those down a little bit, okay? So we have something like that. And then, even though we have kind of this nice rounded nose shape, we're actually going to flatten that out. So I'll come where I can see from the top here and go to our vertex mode. And while you've done an awesome job of following the line here, we're actually not going to do that this time. We're just going to sharpen that nose and just bring it in like this. So what I did there was just kind of a trick you can do. You can just grab all the vertices in a row, and if you want them to be in a straight line, and they're not in a straight line, if they're in a crooked line or a curved line, you can just use your scale tool and just scale them in just like that, okay? And that'll just bring them into a perfectly straight line, okay? And I'm also going to scale these in quite a bit this way and just move them to this tip of the nose area, okay? Just bring them down a bunch. Maybe not that much. Okay. And then also from the front here too, I'm just gonna scale them a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to look at it through the perspective, sometimes it's easier to look at it from the orthographic views, so just switch your views around. So the only other real problem that I see here is that we've got kind of these little thin rectangular shaped ones and then these big old fat ones on the ends. So we'll want to grab these edges and just kind of even that out a little bit. Just using the scale tool, I can just scale those out so that we've got these nice even looking squares. Okay, so that's all fixed. The next problem is these jaggy kind of edges that we've got here. Basically, you always want your edges to kind of follow the curves, the natural curves of the body, okay? It's going to help a lot later on when you're modeling, and if you're adding details and things, it's going to be fantastic if everything's just following that natural flow. So at the moment we've got kind of some zigzags and then just this flat line. It's not really following this smooth curve that we've kind of established for the shape of Sharky. Okay, so let's go ahead and deal with that. Now we can just kind of look at this from the side here, since we're dealing with lines that are on the side. And we're going to go into vertex mode. And we're going to just try to give Sharky sort of a more smooth and natural curve, okay? So again, we're just doing this by bringing these up and following the curve of the body that we've kind of already established up at the top here, okay? And then we'll also do the same for this line right here as well. We'll just kind of try to keep everything nice and even with that. Keep some of those natural curves going. Okay, so that's looking pretty good, just like that. Alright. Now, as we come into the tail area here, we don't want things to curve outwards too much. We're actually going to keep it pretty flat in here, in this area, so let's just kind of bring it in a little bit. And we'll keep it pretty flat. It looks like a good stand to move some of these edges up a little bit, just kind of even them out. So make sure you're, again, kind of working with your guide here. I had mine turned off for a moment there, so just brought it back on so that we can make sure that as we're moving these things around, we're also paying attention to reshaping these curves that we've kind of already established, okay? So we're kind of losing our edge flow as we're having things kind of swoop down into this area, so we want to make sure to flatten them out quite a bit, okay? And again, if you really want a flat line, you can always use that scale tool method by grabbing both ends of the line and just scaling them in, and that will give you kind of an instant flat line, and you can just scale them inwards from there.